Have you ever wondered why some women seem to have life bend in their favor? Not because they're the most beautiful, but because something about them just pulls everything toward them. People respect them, opportunities find them, even silence listens when they speak. It's not luck, it's psychology, and once you understand it, you'll never see beauty the same way again. When a woman carries silence like power, she understands something that many never learn, that presence does not require performance. In a world addicted to noise, to constant validation, to the desperate need to be seen, the truly beautiful woman operates differently. She doesn't need to announce her worth because she knows it. She doesn't compete for attention because she has already earned her own. This kind of silence isn't empty, it's charged. It's the kind of silence that makes people stop mid-sentence when she walks into a room, not because she's loud, but because something about her feels grounded, real, undeniable. There is a certain gravity in quiet confidence. It draws, it commands, it reassures. Psychologically, we are drawn to people who radiate calm certainty, those who are not controlled by the environment, but who control how they show up in it. Such a woman doesn't react. She responds. She doesn't rush to prove herself. She lets her actions speak. Her silence is not a lack of words, but a mastery of them. She chooses them carefully, speaks them with intention, and lets them land where they matter. Philosophically, silence represents the deepest form of knowing. When you no longer need to convince others, you have already convinced yourself. You have transcended the external measurement of beauty and arrived at the inner realization that everything temporary fades, but energy endures. The woman who moves through life with that kind of composure, who no longer uses attention as proof of her value, becomes rare in a world where noise is currency. Her beauty doesn't scream, it whispers truth. It's not that she avoids expression, she simply knows that not everything requires reaction. She allows others to talk, to rush, to impress. Meanwhile, she observes, she listens, she sees patterns that others miss because they're too busy trying to be seen. Her beauty lies in that awareness, in her ability to remain centered when others lose balance. True beauty, then, is not in the face or in the body, but in the way you hold your stillness amidst chaos. It's not in how loudly you enter, but in how deeply you stay. Respecting yourself is not about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about finally understanding that your energy, your time, and your body are sacred, and not everyone deserves access to them. Many women learn this too late, after years of giving more than they received, after confusing being nice with being available. But when you begin to respect yourself, something profound shifts. The world begins to mirror that respect back to you. Self-respect is not a shield against others, it's a compass within yourself. It guides you toward choices that nourish you, not drain you. It teaches you to say no without guilt, to walk away without fear, and to stand firm without anger. The woman who respects herself doesn't tolerate chaos disguised as love. She doesn't chase attention because she knows attention and respect are not the same. One is temporary, the other is earned through the consistency of who you are. Psychologically, self-respect is rooted in boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. They decide who gets to enter and under what conditions. Without them, beauty becomes fragile, because when you allow the world to define your worth, you hand over the keys to your peace. But when you define your worth yourself, you create an inner stability that cannot be shaken by rejection, judgment, or comparison. Philosophically, this is the essence of dignity. Dignity is the invisible garment that never fades, even when everything else does. It's the calm confidence that comes from knowing that your value does not fluctuate with circumstance or opinion. It's a quiet rebellion in a world that profits from insecurity. When you respect yourself, you begin to treat your mind like a temple, not a battlefield. You protect your energy the way you would protect something precious, because it is. And when you live from that space, you no longer chase people, you attract equals. You no longer settle for almost, you wait for aligned. You no longer try to prove your worth, you embody it. Respecting yourself is not about keeping others out, it's about keeping your peace in. Because when you finally decide to honor who you are, the universe begins to do the same. There's a certain kind of beauty that can't be bought, copied, or imitated, the beauty that is born through pain. Every woman who has truly grown has walked through fire at some point in her life. She has faced betrayal, rejection, loss, or loneliness. And while others broke under the weight of it, she allowed the experience to refine her. Pain, when faced with awareness, becomes a teacher. It strips away illusion, ego, and dependence. It forces you to meet the raw version of yourself, the one that can't hide behind makeup, achievements, or validation. That encounter changes everything. When you suffer consciously, you begin to understand that pain is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe's way of reshaping your identity so you can hold more strength, more grace, more wisdom. A woman who has walked through darkness and chosen to keep her heart open doesn't just look different, she feels different. There's a depth in her presence, a softness that doesn't come from weakness but from understanding. She doesn't judge others quickly because she knows how fragile healing can be. She doesn't complain about storms because she's learned that growth doesn't happen under clear skies. Psychologically, those who embrace suffering as a tool for transformation build emotional resilience. They stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single shift changes pain into purpose. It transforms the victim into the student, and eventually the student into the master. Each scar becomes a line of wisdom, each heartbreak a lesson in strength. Philosophically, this is the alchemy of the human spirit, the ability to turn something heavy into something holy. Just as fire refines gold, challenges refine character, the woman who has faced her own shadows and learned to rise again becomes magnetic because her energy carries truth. She no longer hides behind perfection, she lives through authenticity. Her beauty is not in how untouched she is by pain, but in how gracefully she carries what tried to destroy her. So when life breaks you, don't rush to fix the cracks. Sit with them, learn from them, because real beauty doesn't hide its scars, it shines through them. There's a quiet power in a woman whose energy feeds rather than drains. You can feel it when she walks into a room. The atmosphere changes. People become calmer, more open, more present. It's not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she carries an inner stability that others unconsciously crave. Her beauty radiates not from the surface, but from her energy field, from the peace she's built within herself. This is the kind of beauty that cannot be faked, because it's the natural result of emotional maturity and self-awareness. Psychologically, every human being exchanges energy in every interaction. Some people take, others give. The woman whose energy feeds others understands this invisible exchange. She has learned to regulate her emotions instead of letting them overflow onto everyone around her. She doesn't gossip, complain, or project her insecurities onto others. She transforms them. When she feels anger, she pauses. When she feels sadness, she reflects. She doesn't suppress her feelings, she refines them, and that refinement becomes presence. Philosophically, this is harmony in motion. She has discovered balance between strength and softness, between assertion and surrender. She is not peaceful because life has spared her from storms. She is peaceful because she has learned how to dance in the rain. Her calm doesn't mean she's detached, it means she's anchored. She's not trying to control the waves, she's learned to move with them. That is why people feel lighter after talking to her. She doesn't drain energy by demanding attention. She restores it by offering presence. You see, true beauty is magnetic because it heals. It doesn't compete, it doesn't criticize, it doesn't demand. It listens, it observes, it encourages growth in others simply through the way it exists. When your energy is grounded, you no longer need to chase validation. People are drawn to the calm certainty that lives within you. The most beautiful woman is not the one who turns the most heads. It's the one who turns chaos into stillness, fear into understanding, and pain into compassion. Her beauty is not what she wears on her face, but what she gives through her presence. So remember this, the world doesn't need more attractive faces, it needs more beautiful energies. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that imitation is the slow death of her spirit. For years, she might have looked outward, comparing, copying, trying to fit into a mold shaped by society, media, or expectation. But at some point, she understands, beauty loses its meaning when it's borrowed. What makes her truly magnetic is not her similarity to others, but her authenticity, her ability to embody herself completely, unapologetically, and without fear of being misunderstood. To embody who you are means to live from truth, not from trend. It's the quiet rejection of a world that constantly tells you to be more, to do more, to look different. You stop performing and start existing. You stop editing your personality to make others comfortable. You start showing up as the raw, unfiltered version of yourself, because you finally see that authenticity has a frequency, and only those who are aligned with it will stay. Psychologically, imitation stems from insecurity, the belief that who you are is not enough, but imitation can only create sameness, never significance. When you copy, you might gain attention, but you lose connection, especially the connection to yourself. The woman who embodies her truth, however, is not controlled by trends or approval. She draws her worth from her inner compass, not external applause. She has learned to live in alignment with her values, her rhythm, her essence, and that alignment makes her radiant. Philosophically, this is the difference between appearance and essence. Appearance fades, essence deepens. The one who embodies authenticity grows more beautiful with time, because every experience, every emotion, every lesson adds depth to her being. She doesn't fear change, she evolves with it. She doesn't seek to impress, she seeks to express. And in that expression, she becomes unforgettable, because nothing is more captivating than a woman who is at peace with herself. Authenticity is not about being different for the sake of it. It's about being true. It's the courage to stand as yourself in a world that profits from your doubt. So remember this, imitation creates approval, but embodiment creates power. The moment you choose to live as yourself, you stop chasing beauty and start becoming it. When a woman begins to love herself, something extraordinary happens. Her entire life starts to reorganize around that vibration. The people she meets, the opportunities that arise, even the way she carries herself, everything begins to align with her new level of self-regard. It's as if life itself begins to cooperate with her, because she's no longer moving against her own current. She's no longer trying to force things, convince people, or prove her worth. She understands that what she attracts is simply a reflection of what she allows within. To be loved by life doesn't mean everything becomes perfect. It means you stop fighting what is. You stop begging for love and start radiating it. You realize that beauty isn't about what you chase, it's about what you embody. When you love yourself, you move differently. You speak with more care, you walk with more awareness, you stop apologizing for existing, you stop mistaking humility for self-erasure. You begin to treat your soul as something sacred, and in doing so, the universe responds in kind. Psychologically, self-love is the foundation of emotional stability. It's the quiet understanding that you are worthy, not because of what you achieve or how you look, but simply because you are alive. That awareness changes the way you relate to everything around you. You no longer tolerate what drains you, because peace becomes more valuable than attention. You no longer chase validation, because you are already validated by your own acceptance. You no longer fear solitude, because you have become your own home. Philosophically, this is harmony, the moment when the inner world and outer world mirror each other. Life becomes gentler not because it changes, but because you do. You start noticing synchronicities, small signs, moments of grace. It's as if the universe whispers, "Now you see, I was never against you. I was waiting for you to align." A woman loved by life is not untouched by struggle. She is guided through it. She lives with a quiet certainty that everything serves her growth. Her beauty doesn't demand recognition, it reveals truth. So remember this: when you love yourself, you stop chasing miracles because you become one.